Welcome back. This application is going to be for general knee pain, so non-specific injury. We're looking at the superficial tissues, so whether it's quadriceps, tendon, general swelling around the knee, can even help. It's had some effect with things like arthritis or rheumatoid arthritis, but it's not going to help a great deal with the joint itself or joint problems or any sort of meniscal or internal issues as well. So it's predominantly for a generalized knee pain around the knee with no specific known cause or problem. So what we've done, or what I've done here, is cut 2 strips at 25 centimeters, and then I've turned those into Y strips, so leaving a 5 centimeter anchor either end. So what we're going to do is take one of those 25 centimeter Y strips and tear the paper backing across where the tails are, and then we're going to peel back that paper backing and expose that adhesive surface. So you'll need a chair for this, or something that you can put your knee up on or ankle up on, because we need the knee just slightly flexed, predominantly in extension. So this is going to be similar to what we did for the runner's knee, the similar position, but a different technique, different application. So once you've got that Y strip prepared with your anchor, find the tibial tuberosity. So if you find the patella, drop down below that. There's a little bony prominence below where that actual patella tendon attaches, or patella ligament, and that's the tibial tuberosity. So we want to apply the anchor over that tibial tuberosity, directed up the knee. So the first strip we're going to have with the tails coming up. Doesn't matter if you put the top one on first, but I'm going to start with the bottom one. So tails directed up, that anchor sitting where the tibial tuberosity is. So that tuberosity is just there as the tails start to split. So get that anchor applied, give it a good rub, get that adhesive activated. Next thing is start with one of the tails. So I'm starting with the outside tail, peel back the paper backing just enough to hold on to the tape. And what you want is about 30 to 40 degrees of flexion through that knee. So we're going to apply a little bit of tension. It's about paper off tension, or just that minor tension, that 25% stretch. So not severe stretch, but not zero stretch, just a small amount of stretch. And we're going to come up around the kneecap, up onto the thigh, and then applying that end with no tension at all. So surrounding that patella. And then the second tail, same sort of thing, but we're going to go on the other side of the kneecap. So just for visual, coming around the other side, knee on about 30 to 40 degrees of flexion, little bit of stretch through that tape, and then coming around the kneecap, up onto the thigh, and the end with no tension. And then get that adhesive activated, give it a good rub. So that's our first Y strip, and then we're going to apply strip number 2. So same thing, 25 centimeter Y strip, tear across the tails, expose that anchor, the adhesive surface. Now this time we're going to have the tails running down the knee. So we're going to start the anchor above the knee. It's okay if you get a little bit of tape on tape here, but ideally we want as much skin contact as we possibly can. So there's not too much overlap there, but again, ideally if you can, try to have these, the grey or the first tails that you put on, a little wider apart, so you can fit that anchor in between those tails and on full skin contact. So peeling back the paper backing of one of the tails, holding onto the end, same thing, 30 to 40 degrees flexion, little bit of stretch through the tape, and these ones, it's not a big deal if we get some overlap on the tape, because we want to surround the kneecap as much as we can. Now these strips are a little bit longer than is necessary, so you could cut up to 5 centimeters off these strips, so they do come down further than we need. As long as we're starting above the knee high enough that we can split the tails without putting creases in the tape, and start low enough down here that we can split the tails without putting a crease. So you want to start above and below the kneecap with enough distance to do that. And if you've got too short a tape, then you'll only just pass the knee and you won't get that desired effect with the tape. So taking strip or tail number 2 of strip number 2, once again just for visual, knee up, 30 to 40 degrees of flexion, a little bit of stretch through that tail, and then running around the kneecap, and then the end with no stretch at all. So you should end up with a diamond shape around that knee. So you've got your original tails coming up and then the other strip running down. So that way we should be able to get full range of motion, and when the knee's relaxed we should get wrinkling through that tape and it pocketing and creating a nice soft pad around that knee. So it should feel nice and comforting around that kneecap. So that's our general knee pain application for non-specific knee pain.